Welcome back to Pop Culture Theory. I am Saccora. You can find us around the web on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Pop Culture Theory. Today we are going to continue our Magic the Gathering spoilers for Dominaria. I'm doing a little bit different from everyone else. I waited until Wizards of the Coast released all of the spoilers, and much like I did with the Planeswalker video, I am now going to bring you videos based on the specific types and my favorites of each of those types that they've announced for Dominaria. I'm also going to do some videos about Dominaria and things like what you should draft during pre-release for your best chances there. Now, without further ado, our Dominaria spoilers this week are Dominaria artifacts. That's right, I am going into artifacts first because I am loving some of these artifacts. Don't get me wrong, I'm loving Dominaria in general. A return to the original plane of Magic, that's everything I've ever wanted as a longtime player of Magic the Gathering. I started in Dominaria when I started this journey about 20 years ago, and coming back to Dominaria has just been a blast for me seeing all these preview cards. Now, there are a couple of things I want to talk about with our previews, including some honorable mentions here. Our first honorable mention this week is a reprint. It's the only reprint I want to spend a lot of time on, and that is Gilded Lotus. That is right, people. Gilded Lotus is back in Standard. This is blowing my mind. I never thought I would see the day when Gilded Lotus returned to Standard. It might not be the most played in Standard. I can see it being played in some of the mono-green ramp decks, but I think Brawl, it's going to have a special place. However, let's talk for a moment about the fact that it's also in a starter deck. The Chandra Planeswalker starter deck will come with a Gilded Lotus. That means that you get a $10 plus Planeswalker, a $5 plus Gilded Lotus. Right there, you are paying for the cost of the deck, and I'm pretty sure I was going on the low end of the price on both of those cards right now. It's going to be the best Planeswalker deck I've seen, hands down. First up, our honorable mentions for Commander. We have Voltaic Servant, Howling Golem, and Power Stone Shard. Voltaic Servant is going to be good in a lot of Commander decks. Untapping a target artifact works in Artifact Commander decks, or in any Commander deck, you could get your Soul Ring back, or some of those other things like Command Sphere. Howling Golem, Hug decks anyone? Power Stone Shard is another one that I'm liking. It's specifically good if you can make copies of it, or if you can make illusion type things of it, using mirrors, using things that act like they're that copy then. Now, there's also Icy Manipulator, which I think is going to be really good in some of the Taxes decks, especially budget Taxes. Top 10 Dominaria artifacts. Now, first up, we are going to go through the Forebearers Blade. It has +3/+0, Vigilance, and Trample for the equipped creature. It costs 3, and then it costs 3 to equip. And whenever the equipped creature dies, you attach Forebearers Blade to another creature you control. That's actually all really good. It might be a little slow for Standard, unless the Aura equipment deck takes off that I've been looking a little bit at, but more than that, it's a good piece for Voltron, especially Voltron for Brawl decks. It might not work in all the EDH Voltron decks, although I am getting myself a copy to throw in my Cat Voltron deck for EDH. Now, next up we have Mishra's Self-Replicator. This is another one I'm really liking. It might be a little slow for Standard at 5 cost, but every time you play a historic spell, so an artifact, a legendary, or a saga, if you pay 1, you get a copy that's an exact copy of Mishra's Replicator with that same effect. You could make that go crazy very fast. I think Brawl decks are going to end up using this in some of the Artifact Brawl decks. You might see it in Artifact Commander decks, maybe a little too slow for the actual Standard decks though, unless you get some crazy ramp decks using a lot of the historic spell cards too. Next up we have Joyra's Familiar. Do not sleep on this one. This one is going to be seen in a lot of Commander decks, especially budget Commander decks. Historic spells, again, artifacts, legendaries, and sagas, will cost 1 less. Your Commander costs 1 less. All your legendaries cost 1 less. All your artifacts cost 1 less. That's going to be really good, and it's going to put a lot of Commander decks right on ramp if they were running a little slow. I also think you're going to see this in Brawl decks. It might be too slow for Standard, it's probably not going to see Modern or anything else, but those singleton formats, I'd watch out. Black Blade Reforged. This is another one a lot of people have been hating on, but I'm just loving. It is a 3 cost to equip for a legendary creature, or a 7 cost to equip to normal creatures with a 2 cost to play. But for a Voltron deck, this is an ultimate finishing piece for Commander. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each land you control. By the time I'm equipping this to my Voltron, that's going to be 10/10 he's getting. I think that's going to be really good, and I'm thinking that it's going to make for a piece in a Brawl Voltron deck, which is looking like it could be a real thing here. Sparring Construct. I had to bring this one up. This might see more play than any of the other ones I've talked about in Standard specifically. This works in the blue-green Merfolk's deck. This works in the green-black counter deck. It also works in some tokens decks. And after Standard rotates, I think this will be used to fill in a lot of those one-drop slots that otherwise aren't going to have things right away. I would not sleep on the Sparring Construct. I think this is going to be a really good card, and it's going to be a common that might end up jumping up to about $1. Weatherlight, another card I'm really liking and that I think has some good standard play options, including Mardu Vehicles. It's a 4 cost for a 4/5 with flying that takes 3 to crew. But whenever it attacks, you're going to look at the top 5 card, not whenever it attacks, whenever it deals combat damage. You're going to look at the top 5 cards of your library, and you may reveal a historic card among them to put it in your hand. Again, artifacts, legendaries, and sagas. So it can fly right into your opponent, do that combat damage to the player. You can go ahead and siphon through, get the cards you want. I think you're going to be seeing this played not only in Mardu Vehicles, but other decks. Dampening Sphere, the one everybody's wanting me to get to. This is the ultimate modern card in Dominaria. Hands down, no argument. It's going to see modern play, it's going to see legacy play, it's going to see vintage play, it's going to see commander play. Brawl and Standard, it's only as good for that second effect right now, unless they give us some crazy lands coming up in the new sets. But even the second effect could be used in control decks for both Brawl and Standard. It's a really good card, it's an uncommon, and it's already at like $4. Do not sleep on Dampening Sphere. I'm using that phrase a lot right now, I notice. Traxxas, Scourge of Krug, another card I'm really liking. It is 4 cost for a 7/7 with Trample. I don't care if it comes in tapped, it is really easy to untap, especially in this standard meta. I think this could see modern play, I think this is going to see standard play, it's for sure going to see Brawl play, it's probably going to see commander play. It's really good. There are 0 cost artifacts that we have availability to. On turn 4, you can be swinging in with this if you have the right mana ramp on turn 3. I think this is something you have to worry about. And let's talk about those 0 cost artifacts. Mox Amber. Way too many people are talking bad about this Mox. I know it's not as good as every other Mox we have, but it does deserve the name Mox still. It is going to be a key piece for a lot of commander decks. It's going to be key in Brawl decks. I think it's going to see standard play. Going back and talking about Traxxas there, you can use it to untap him at 0 cost. And there's a lot of legendaries coming out right now in this standard format. Yes, it's not as good as every other Mox we've seen, but I think this is going to become the cheaper Mox for commander decks. Thrawn, the Temporal Gateway. This is my favorite artifact of all. This is my #1 artifact. 4 cost, and then 4 in a tap, and you bring out any historic card. So, artifacts, legendary sagas, that means I'm going to have crazy legendaries in Commander I can cast at really crazy costs. In Brawl and Standard, it might not have as much effect, but I think that 4 cost to bring out some of these things that otherwise might cost me 10, 11, 12 sometimes, that's going to get pretty crazy. I could even use this in Standard to bring out Gulta for 4. Firesong and Sunspeaker is my giveaway this month. I'm getting 2 of this special buy box promo that you cannot get unless you buy a box at a WPN store. And I'm going to give away one of the 2 that I get. I'm giving it away to one of my lucky viewers out there, and all you have to do to get in on the giveaway is like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment below. Tell me what your favorite spoiler from Dominaria is, or what other cards you want to see me spoil, or what other videos you want to see me do with Magic. I am going to be changing up my channel format a little here, and I really would like to know what all you guys like. Do you like more live videos, seeing my beautiful mug in there, or do you like more videos like this? Do you want to see me doing more spoiler videos, or do you want to see me focusing on deck techs? Which, again, I'm going to go back to deck techs as soon as we get all the standard cards into this. So let me know in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the video. Go like the other ones where I've mentioned Firesong and Sunspeaker and give me a comment. For every like and comment on those videos that I get, you're going to get an extra chance to win this awesome card. So I really hope I get a lot more people in here liking these videos. I've been producing a lot more content for the channel. I am Saccora. You guys can find me on facebook.com/Saccora. I have been doing a little bit less on the channel lately. I used to produce 1 to 2 videos a day. I'm kind of to the point where I'm doing maybe 2 to 3 a week right now. I'm going to keep making this content for you, but you need to remember I am completely unsponsored. I get no money for this. I'm running no ads for you guys right now, and I'm trying to do this all just for you all. Once again, I'm Saccora with Pop Culture Theory, and I'll catch you all next time.